So in this video, we're going to be talking about what the moon means in the sign of Gemini natally. And what before we start, let's point out the time, it's 3:33. And, I decided to start this video right now because I had my notes out and I was just like, I was reading over them and I saw the time and I was like, okay, it's time to start this video. But the number 3 is associated with the sign of Gemini. Gemini is the 3rd house in astrology. And so anyways, that's why I'm starting this video now, because I was just thinking about it and what I was going to say. And I think that now's a good time. Now, also, what the chart we're looking at right now is the chart of the Earth. And right now, the ascendant, or the sign that's rising, is the sign of Cancer, and the moon rules Cancer. So we're talking about the moon right now, and right now the moon is preparing to enter Gemini several hours later, and it's gonna have a full moon right now, and it's actually a lunar eclipse, but then the moon is gonna enter the sign of Gemini later tonight. So it's a perfect time to make this video. But what the moon shows us in astrology is it shows us what we are sensitive to. It rules emotions and comfort. It rules security as well as family. And it also rules, things that we use as a resource. And it's about our main resource in life. And that's what family represents, and that's what home life represents. The moon rules home life as well in astrology. So anyways, when the moon is in the sign of Gemini, which is about communication, thought, intellect, this indicates somebody that is sensitive to words. So that's something that you guys are most sensitive to. You guys are most sensitive to communication. And most importantly, you guys are sensitive to your own internal dialogue or your self-talk. People with moon in Gemini are very influential of how they feel based on how they're thinking. So it's important for you guys specifically to think highly of yourselves. Now, since the moon shows comfort and emotions, especially in relationships too, and how we interact with others, what moon and Gemini people need is they need clear-cut communication. And their emotional security or comfort comes from things making sense. So when things make logical sense to you, this gives you assurance. People with moon in Gemini, which is the sign of intellect, logic, and thinking, they process their emotions, which is the moon, through logic. So your emotions, a lot of times with the moon in Gemini, are experienced as suggestions or ideas as well, because Gemini is the sign of ideas, suggestions, and questions. So you tend to remain intellectually detached from your emotions or from your intuition, and you see your emotions as suggestions, and you see your intuition as suggestions or ideas, not conclusions. Now, a lot of times, since Gemini is a mutable sign, which is about change and it's about being scattered, people with the moon in Gemini can be emotionally or intuitively scattered, and they can be detached to their intuition because they tend to ask themselves many questions. And you guys process your intuition, and you guys process your personal truths through information and what can be made sense out of. So if you guys feel a certain type of way, you guys just see this as something that needs to be confirmed with information or with clear communication from somebody. So as a result of having the moon in Gemini, one of your guys' traits is that you guys are aware of the potential that there could be so many answers to things. And the reason we're talking about intuition is because the moon rules intuition, and it rules answers. So if we screenshot this so I can draw, the sign of Cancer comes right after Gemini, And Gemini is about thinking. It's about thoughts, questions. Cancer is about answers, intuition, feelings. So this is when you have questions about things. This is when you feel the answer. So with the moon being in Gemini, you guys have the moon or the intuition in the sign of questions. And so there can be a tendency to be indecisive. And also, the sign of Gemini is the 12th sign from Cancer. The 12th is about potential. So how you guys process your emotions, you guys process them as things that can be potentially true, but not necessarily. So one of your guys' greatest strengths is your creativity. The 12th house is about creativity, and it's about possibilities, and it's about seeing the big picture. So people with the moon in Gemini, they kind of see the big picture, which is that there could be so many answers. There could be so many explanations for how they feel about things, or for the truth. So they never jump to conclusions, and one of their biggest strengths is that they are creative problem solvers. So in group situations, you guys are the type of person that tends to come up with ideas that nobody else could have thought of, or come up with suggestions that are really out of the box, because you guys tend to tackle issues from so many different angles in your mind before jumping to a conclusion. And also, you guys are the type of people with Moon and Gemini that you guys can have a lot of answers to something, but no good one single answer. And again, this is from, being a little bit detached from your intuition, and also tackling things from many different angles. Also, the moon shows how we solve things. And for you guys, the best way to solve issues is through communication. That's how you guys like to do things. Or if somebody needs support or needs guidance or needs like an answer, you guys tend to come at them with more questions. You guys ask them interesting questions that will help them come to a conclusion. Whereas, a different moon sign could have a different approach. So maybe somebody with moon in Aries would try to solve problems very directly. And they may try to solve problems prematurely, or try to just immediately get to the finish and end things quickly. Whereas you guys are communicators, you guys are thinkers. So a trait of Gemini moons, and the moon is about to enter Gemini pretty soon, which is a good confluence for this video. It's a good, it's like a connection that's going to come soon. But with moon in Gemini, a lot of times you guys can be indecisive when it comes to solving problems, or you guys are not necessarily proactive. You guys are more so contemplative problem solvers. And again, this ties to the moon being in the 12th sign from its own sign, because the moon rules Cancer. The 12th is about inactivity, and it's about potential, and it's also about procrastination. So a trait of Gemini moons is that they can be procrastinators, and it's unintentional. It's more so of a underlying, trait that they have, but it's as a result of them thinking about things or trying to think of the best solution. And in the meantime, they could take no proactive actions. The 12th house is about things that are non-tangible as well. So when the moon is in Gemini, you guys have like a non-existent form of answering questions, or coming to solutions. In fact, since the moon also shows resources, and resources don't necessarily all have to be physical. Sometimes resources can be talents, or they can be traits or concepts that we use. When the moon is in Gemini, which is an air sign, something that's not tangible, it's about logic and intellect. The resource that you guys tend to use in order to solve problems is you guys tend to use logic, wit, or intelligence. Or you guys tend to use questions. So you use ideas and opportunities as a resource in life. Now, generally speaking as well, you guys are emotionally adaptable, because you guys tend to not jump to conclusions. And you guys definitely don't get stuck on one possibility of what the truth could be. So as a result, you guys can tolerate situations that may be unideal, for longer than usual, because unless you guys have a clear answer, you guys may think that you have no reason to act. So, or no reason to solve the problem if you guys are not 100% logically sure that this is the truth. So there tends to be this desire for, I guess, agreement, but not so much agreement, but like being sure or knowing before you come to a conclusion. And that's because, you know, Gemini is an air sign, and air is about communication, logic, or information, the transfer of information. So, like I was saying, a lot of times you guys don't use any tangible tools or strategies or resources to solve problems. You guys can remain scattered, indecisive, or you guys can procrastinate as you try to make sense of things. And you guys tend to detach from the emotional side of your experience. And you guys process intuition through the mind. And that is what the moon means in the sign of Gemini, generally speaking. With that being said, next, I'm going to be making videos for what the moon in Gemini means through each of the houses. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and definitely stay tuned for that. If you did enjoy, if you saw yourself in some way in this video, then don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to this channel. Let me know what resonated, what didn't in the comments. And I will see you Gemini moons sometime soon in another video. Thank you for watching. Peace. See you guys next time.